if you don't mind a couple more minutes here just to talk about peptides that may be beneficial for joints.
Yeah, a classic thing for the joints. On the other hand, just the steroids do not strengthen the joints, just the muscles, and that's why we have sometimes the rupture. So can you ask about natural tremble reduction?
Would that be something that you would check with your blood work, like do that for 3 months and then check again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So before start running this small amount of DECA into your TRT regimen, you need to have proper liver enzymes, good cholesterols, and a good hematocrit. Otherwise, take some supplements to help your liver and your lipids and blood donate. But the key, Mike, is a minor dosing, micro dosing. All right, let's say 25 milligrams twice a week. I was using 1.5 grams of DECA when I was competing during the off season, but this is abuse, and I don't recommend this.
Okay.
We're speaking here about longevity.
Right. Right. Well, that sounds interesting. It seems like that would be something if somebody in the older age could do that. That sounds beneficial. Would that go through a company that does TRT, HRT? Would they prescribe something like that?
Well, I think private clinics may do this. Yes, because I have a very good friend in the States that buys stuff from a private clinic in somewhere in Central America. And yeah, they prescribe him for the sake of, you can say that, for cracky joints. It's off-label, of course. It's not official.
What is that? I'm sorry, I don't know what that. I don't know what that means.
Somebody can prescribe DECA, an orthopedic surgeon, for instance, or an internal pathologist. They have the 3 symptoms, the classic: fracture or osteoporosis, anemia, and muscle wasting. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So this cracky joints is something off-label, and that is not the official indication of the use of the non-drug.
Okay. All right. I just don't want everybody out here that maybe have achy body to go and call their delivery like I don't want them calling Transcend if that's something.
No, not at all.
That you shouldn't do that. Is there another option that would help with achy joints? Is there another thing? Is there a peptide that you know of?
Yeah. Well, make sure when you're into TRT, do not use any aromatase inhibitor, any estrogens, because estrogens are beneficial for the joints. They retain water, and if you abuse aromatase inhibitors like Arimidex or Fermata or Aromacin, you have cracky joints also.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, because you cut down the estrogens, and there's no fluid retention that also goes here.
And that's another thing that you would be able to see, making sure that you're on point with your care provider and doing your blood work every 3 months.
Yeah, that's why during cutting cycles or before show, we suffer from cracky joints because we abuse aromatase inhibitors to look drier.
Yeah. Okay.
Cut down the estrogens, to look sharp, but we terribly ache over here, the joints, because we want to cut off, decapitate the estrogens to look less feminine.
To look all peeled and ripped and superhero-like, I guess that would be. The teams here is asking about peptides that may be beneficial. If you don't mind a couple more minutes here just to talk about peptides that may be beneficial for joints.
Yeah, a classic thing for the joints is the IGF-1 because it kicks out the primitive connective tissue shells known as chondroblasts, okay? And they form connective tissue and collagen. So G8 and IGF-1 synthesize more collagen. That's why we have better skin elasticity and better joints, tendons. We don't have that rupture when we use also G8. On the other hand, just the steroids do not strengthen the joints, just the muscles, and that's why we have sometimes the rupture. So a little bit of G8 in the long run, along with the vitamin C and lysine and proline that synthesize also collagen, is beneficial for the joints. Well, G8 and IGF-1 are peptides, but are long peptides.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mike.
No, it's okay.
It's TB500 also.
Okay.
And BBC 157 in case you have an injury. So for rehab and recuperation, all right?
Right.
You can start.
I've heard so many great things from people that I respect in the health and fitness world, that those are two real big ones that are real beneficial. And then the
Well, I know time Mr. Olympia who uses them every day.
wow. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll study more up on those and find out what the recommendation is from what the world is telling me. And then I would love to circle back with you and get your take on that as I know more on the TB and the BP. Yeah. And the
Tesamorelin, yeah.
Tesamorelin. I've heard so many incredible stories about that as well. And it's interesting. Maybe you have a couple more minutes here just to talk about the replacing of somebody doing HGH with that instead of the HGH.
Some people cannot afford the GH. It's super expensive. Either they use it Monday to Friday, and then during the weekends they use those peptides that kick your own GH. All right. Either they just use those peptides that actually under IGF-1 deficiency. So in order to estimate if you are low of growth hormone, you just measure your IGF-1. And usually people over 50 have low IGF-1 levels below the mid-range. In such cases, they don't get prescribed for GH because it's very narrow the window for GH prescription. On the other hand, they prescribe them the so-called secretagogues of peptides, the growth hormone releasing hormone peptides like sermorelin, GHRP6, GHRP2, MK677 that kick your own production of growth hormone.
Okay. Do you mind we finish this up with some Q&A from the fans around the world?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to put one on here. Let's see. Here's one. All right, that's from Chris. Can you see that?
Can you ask about natural trembolone production? Well, trembolone is a synthetic derivative, and actually it's a derivative of nandrolone, all right? So if there's no natural trembolone production, I mean, the body synthesizes testosterone, and the steroids are synthetic derivatives of testosterone, okay? And actually, trembolone is a 19-nortestosterone derivative, but it's a product of nandrolone. They're very similar in the chemical structure, all right? And actually, as a matter of fact, trembolone is not for human use anymore. The only case was in 1997, in the 90s actually, the parabolan, which is something intermediate in the half-life, and it was by Enigma, and it was for human use for the HIV patients. But the rest of the trembolone, the acetate or the enanthate, it's just for cattle, you know?
Okay, yeah, I've never, like we were talking about some products earlier that I've only heard incredible things about. The one thing I've heard the most negative thing about is anything to do with Tren. I've never heard one person talk about it in a good light, besides, I guess, the basic just strength and muscle. But
yeah, listen, Tren is not a classic toxic 7-inoculated compound. That means it's harsh to the liver. However, at my office, there come people that use microdosing, let's say 100 milligrams of Tren. In the long run, it may lead to some dyslipidemia, meaning some disruption of the liver enzymes and also of the lipids, of the cholesterols. But the most tragic thing of Tren is its high androgenic index, that from the one point of view, it burns fat. From the other point of view, it kills your nervous system. You cannot sleep well. You get deranged. You get paranoia. And in the long run, it leads to Alzheimer's. Okay? Some damage in the nervous system after prolonged use in the MRI. So it's not cool to use Tren. Besides, it kicks your blood pressure that toasts your kidneys in the long run.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for that. That's one I've heard a lot about and love it. I have another question here from Mary. Let me know if you can see that one.
I never heard of that peptide, you know, but I think from the name, I assume it has to do with the growth hormone release. But I'm not aware of this, no.
Are you, Jeffrey, aware of this? What do you have to say?
It is. It's one of those growth.
Could be GHRAs.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's some of your homework right there. You see, man, we got somebody on here with something that you haven't heard or studied on. So there's your homework there. Is there another one, Jeffrey, you'd like to ask him?
When it comes to these growth hormone releasing peptides, are there any potential side effects or things that you should be aware of, like blood sugar?
No, really, because they are not that potent like G8s. They are less effective, safer, cheaper, but not as potent as G8s. So they wouldn't spike your IGF-1 levels. On the other point of view, they are very good for recuperation. I would say the most for some fat burning and body composition, but definitely not for growth.
Okay, we have a couple more questions here before I let you go. And again, thank you so much for doing this. I saw one about brain.
Right here.
All right, go for it.
What supplement is good to use to keep your brain in good or even better condition?
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. What I use on a daily basis is pregnenolone, all right? Ginkgo biloba.
Ginkgo.
Ginkgo, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. And what else? Caffeine is very good in dark chocolate also. All right.
Okay.
And stack with caffeine tyrosine. Tyrosine is an amino acid that helps as a neurotransmitter. When you add it to caffeine, you have better cognitive function, okay?
Right.
Ginkgo biloba and pregnenolone are very good for the memory.
Yeah. I've always liked ginkgo biloba, as I say. Will you do me one more favor before we say goodbye for today? Can we get a big double bicep? You're looking massive, my brother. You're looking massive.
I trained delts today,
Well, you look great. You always look great. You're so
I'm
insightful.
50 in the summer, I'm 49 now. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
You got to get you up next to Victor Martinez.
Yeah, I hope next time we'll be in LA to meet you at the Gulf,
Yeah, I'm sorry that I missed you this last time. I was filming it.
We meet at 5 a.m.,
Yeah. I don't mind going in later at all. I remember he just came into town, if everybody doesn't know, and unfortunately my schedule now traveling and doing TV and movies I'm blessed to be able to do that, but I'm not in LA as much. So I'm sorry I missed you. Again, thanks for jumping on today. As always, you are a rock star, giving me information that I need, and I will correct my way of saying what we are doing and how we can get better.
You were my inspiration in my early days, in the late 90s.
I'm not no more, though.
Oh, come on. Give me a break.
I was then, not now. Too old now.
You make every man feel embarrassed,
Oh, yeah. I'm just lucky to be here, man. Just lucky to be here and do this. Thanks for taking time today again, my friend.
Anytime.
I'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
What a lucky opportunity I have to have individuals like this in my life that I could reach out to and have these talks with on when those ideas or the confusion sets in with me on, hey, what's going on? How do we do this? What's the best opportunity for this? So for me, I thought that was a great one for you guys. I wanted to keep that moderately short so you guys could really understand some of the benefits of what he was talking about, and also for me to learn something today. At the end of the day, talking to all these guys is just going to make me a better coach, better father in the long run, and also just better myself, fully understanding this as I am closing in on that 60. Continuing to want to live the healthy lifestyle and the quality of life that I am living right now. So how can we extend it? How can we do that as best we can as we do all age? Today's the youngest you're ever going to be. That's it. Today's the youngest. You're only going to be older. So let's take advantage of this. Let's continue to push each other and keep pushing to get better. And again, if you guys feel free to reach out to me in the Titan crew if you have extra questions about that. And then if you're looking for a wellness specialist, somebody that you can talk to, my recommendation is we'll put a link on the comment section of this video. When it goes up on the page, you'll be in the Adventures of TRT, and it will have the company I work with, Transcend, right here with a form for you guys to fill out. Pretty simple. Fill out that form. They'll guide you through blood work, and the next thing you know, whatever to optimize your body will show up for you to start and rock and roll. That's it. Thanks, guys. Have a great, great day today.